The interesting thing here is that there are tie-ins to from what I'm saying to everything that's been said today and yesterday during the master classes. Big data is an overarching strategy that really any media company can use bits and pieces of. While data journalism isn't new, it does have a new name of data journalism, and we're using really great tools to help us plumb those databases and find correlations, to find out trends in crime, trends in education, trends in pollution, and so on and so forth. And Pulitzer Prizes and other major prizes, journalistic prizes, are being won because of some great data journalism that's going on today. I think what makes it different today is the technology behind it. So it can become so much more sophisticated than what we used to call just investigative reporting before using data sources. Now we can use a whole host of different data technology to enhance or to be the foundation of our stories. Our newsrooms are full of multitasking journalists these days, whereas, a decade ago even, they were really a one-hit wonder. They focused on print, let's say, or they focused on TV only. Now you have to have a lot of different skills in order to be a successful journalist. And but I don't think that data journalism is for everyone. I think not everyone is good at numbers. Not everybody is adept at computing numbers. The reason they got into journalism was because they are word people. But that being said, it's important to have a fundamental knowledge of numbers, because so many of our stories at least include some sort of data. We can look at data all day long, but it's meaningless if it doesn't have some value to us. Kylie Davis was talking about different ways to approach a data journalism story, and sometimes it comes from the data itself. If you're led to a new data set, or maybe there's for example, crime data that is available to journalists at all times. So we always know about this information that's available through the government. But sometimes something falls in our lap. NSA story is a good example of that. When the Guardian gets this huge data type of story, and then you act on it. It just depends on how we learn about the story. What Kylie was talking about was sometimes we have a story that we need to dig for numbers after we find out about the story. It really just is a case-by-case basis. What is driving this? Why is this happening? It's being driven by a number of different factors, but mostly it's because connectivity and data storage is getting cheaper and cheaper. The number of digital devices are getting cheaper, and the usage, therefore, is growing. Well, crowdsourcing is certainly an interesting way to approach a story, and it has actually been a successful technique in certain kinds of stories. Maybe it's not the right technique for everyone, but again, it's another tool in our toolkit that we can use, and I don't think that we have to use that tool every single time we do an investigative piece, but it certainly is something that's available to us, especially when it's a story that impacts people directly and they care about it, and they may have a story to tell of their own, a crime story, for example, and being a victim of a crime, getting information from multiple sources, including citizens, might be the way to go. But it's just one more tool.